सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। So far, we have seen in the question of what is anatma, Bhagavan Shri Adi Shankaracharya ji in Vivekachoodamani first explains the first upadhi. Upadhi meaning we have seen upasamipe sthitva swiyan gunan anyatra adadhati, conditioning that which stays near the self and transfers its properties to the self. So the first upadhi that was explained was gross body, sthula sharira. We have elaborately seen what exactly is sthula sharira, what it is made up of, what is its function, what are its modifications, what is its special state of waking. Also, Shankaracharya explains how through this gross body or identification with this gross body, we are attached to the outside world, which becomes the cause of our downfall. One of the reasons why we stay in the bondage is because of this attachment to the world. So first that attachment to the objects was condemned. Then the attachment to the body was condemned. And then Shankaracharya went on to even condemn the body itself, saying that what is it? It's nothing but filth. And for no reason you have a feeling that this is you. Such a holy person hugs this unholy body and says that this is me. So he shows the mirror in order to get dispassion. This also point we have seen. Such a vivid picture. Why? So that we will get that dosha drishti. We will get that feeling of, oh, how can even I make that mistake? Right? With the gross body. Then he went on to explain the next upadhi of subtle body, sukshma sharira. Now here the approach is little different. Why? Because sukshma sharira is little difficult to understand than the gross body, because it is sukshma, subtle. So he goes on to elaborate first the components of the subtle body. So he explains what are the 5 organs of perception, what are the 5 organs of action, what are the antakarana, the 4-fold inner instrument, isn't it? What is their function, individual function. He also explains what are the 5 pranas, right? Individually, after explaining, he puts everything together and he says, now let me tell you what is subtle body. Vagadi pancha, Shravanadi pancha, Pranadi pancha, Abhramukhani pancha, Buddhyadi avidyapicha kamakarmani, Puryashtakam, Sukshma Shariramahu. He says, eightfold is this Sukshma Sharira. Subtle body has got 8 things. What? Number 1, Vagadi pancha, Vak, etc. The organs of action, the 5 organs of action. Shravanadi pancha, the 5 organs of perception. Pranadi pancha, the 5 pranas. Abhramukhani pancha, the 5 subtle elements which are called as tanmatras. Then what? Buddhyadi, buddhi, etc. The antakarana chatushtaya, the 4-fold inner instrument. Avidya, ignorance. Kama, karmani, kama and karma. Kama, desire. Karma, action. These 8 factors put together is called a subtle body. Further he explains. He says, Idam shariram, shrunu, listen, oh my dear, listen. What? Idam shariram, this body, sukshma sannitam, which is called as sukshma, which is given a appellation, which is given a name, subtle body, lingam, has got another name. What is that? Linga sharira. Linga means what? Indicator. That which indicates. It is insignia of life. How do you know a person is alive or dead? Swamiji, that gross body is there. That will be there. That is not the insignia of life. We don't check whether the gross body is there or not. Gross body will be there. But in the gross body, whether the subtle body is there or not, that's what we check. So sometimes we will keep the finger near the nose to see whether the breath is going on or not. See, prana is part of subtle body. Then we will try to see whether doctors, etc., not we, doctors, etc., they will open the eye and they will put the battery and they will say whether there is a contraction, etc., happening of pupil, so that they know that, oh, okay, reaction is coming, senses are working. Vagadi pancha, Shravanadi pancha, subtle body. See? Sometimes you will say in coma, etc., these senses are not functioning, but the mind is functioning, brain is functioning, everything is functioning. Yes? So, it is the sign, insignia of life. Linga, it is an indicator of life. Therefore, it has also got a name, Linga Sharira. And how is it made? Apanchikrita Bhuta Sambhavam. It is born from 5 subtle elements, apanchikrita, which have not undergone the process of grossification, process of panchikarana. We have seen all these things, right? Now he makes an interesting claim. He says, Savasanam, along with the vasanas. Karma phala anubhavakam, which causes the experience. Karma phala. Experience of what? Karma phala, results of action. The sorrow and joy, which is the result of action of punya and papa, etc. That is what karma phala anubhavakam. It is the one which causes that experience. Swa ajnanataha anadihi upadihi atmanaha. Because of one's own ignorance, it is beginningless conditioning of the self. It has not started at a particular point. See, our identification with this gross body has started at a particular time. That is what we celebrate as our birthday. Actually, the identification started 9 months before or 8 months and few days before, isn't it? That is when the gross body was actually formed. But you don't have a feeling of this is me unless you are separated from your mother. But there is a point of time when this identification with gross body started. And there is a point of time when the identification with this gross body will end. And that is the second date that others will put on our picture. When we die, they will put a picture and they will tell, no, from this date to this date, that second date. So, beginning of identification, end of identification. Now, can you put this beginning of identification for subtle body? No. Is there a point of time when the identification with subtle body started? No. Why? Anadihi upadihi. Na adi asti. There is no beginning to this upadi. We had seen also in Vedanta what all is considered as anadi. The verse from Panchadashi I had explained in the previous class, isn't it? Jivaha, Ishaha, Vishuddha Chit, Tatha Jiveshayoho Bhida. Avidya, tat chitor yoga, shadasmakam anadayah. Where is jiva? Jiva is beginningless. Jiva is nothing but the subtle body. The subtle body with the reflection of consciousness on it. That is what is called a jiva. That is anadi. Ishaha, the Lord is anadi. Vishuddha, chit, pure consciousness. That is also anadi. Tatha jiva ishayoho bhida. The distinction between individual and the Lord. So since when is my delusion, ignorance going on? The difference, since when that Bheda Buddhi is there, that I am different from the Lord, that Bheda Buddhi is also anadi. Avidya, the ignorance, I don't know my true nature. Since when? Since before time. That is also anadi. Tat chitor yoga, and union of this avidya with chit, with consciousness, ignorance and, so connection between ignorance and consciousness. Sometimes they call it as time. The time itself is timeless, beginningless. These 6 things are called as anadi in Vedanta. But please remember, among these 6, only pure consciousness is called as something which is beyond time. All other 5 are called as before time. This also point we had discussed earlier. Okay, remaining 5 are called as before time. Before time means because they were born before the concept of time came, you cannot put a birth moment for them. But consciousness is not just before time, it is beyond time. The concept of time itself, the realm of time itself doesn't apply for that consciousness. And one of the 6 is jiva, and therefore subtle body, and the identification with subtle body is beginningless. We had also seen why Shankaracharya is putting avidya in subtle body, vasana in subtle body, what is the simple meaning of vasana. All these points we had seen, right? Avidya here is to be understood as not mula avidya, not karana avidya, but vikshepatmaka, karya avidya, right? That is what is ajnana avidya concept needs to be understood here. Vasanam also, savasanam, when he says, it is to be understood in a simple sense of the term vasana. Samskaras, when we say, it is in a simple sense that we are understanding here. Not in the technical sense that we will be seeing now. Right? So that also can be included. By using the word kama, he is taking into consideration all kinds of thoughts. Kama, sankalpa, sandeho, shraddha, dhriti, traye, shrir, dhir, bir, etc., etc., etc. All kinds of thoughts. And why kama only is he is calling it here, because that is the worst kind of the root cause of all other modifications of the mind. Everything starts with this desire. Therefore, he has put kama. And karma also here we have to understand in the sense of karma phala, the result of action. Okay, all these things we had seen. Then few more verses also we saw that special state for this subtle body is dream. It doesn't mean subtle body is not there in waking. It is there. Of course, it is there in the waking state. Right now we are transacting how speech is working, eyes are working, mind is working. So, of course, it is there. But in waking, there is something else also which is there. That is the gross body, which is foremost. In dream, which is the special upadhi, is the subtle body. Why? Because in dream, subtle body is on a rampage. Full on the whole world is created by the subtle body, experienced by the subtle body, and cry also. Everything is done by subtle body. You enjoy also is subtle body enjoying the subtle body things, and even if you very terrible dream I saw, that is also subtle body only. Everything is created by subtle body, experienced by subtle body. It is exclusive subtle body. Right? Therefore, we said swapnaha bhavati asya vibhakti avastha. It is a special state for this subtle body. Swamatra sheshena vibhati. It is alone there. It is alone there means what? Gross body is not there. A causal body is there, that we will come to. But gross body is not there. Also, in dream, the entire subtle body also is not there. If you see carefully, the senses are not working. The organs of action are not working. Pranas are functioning, yes. Otherwise, we will die. So, pranas are functioning. Mind is functioning, but intellect is not functioning. Therefore, you cannot have logic. I mean, there is a logic of dream state, but there is a different logic of dream state. You cannot have waking logic applied in dream state. In dream, we can see anything. A small ant lifting elephant also, we can see. We can see in dream. Now, if intellect is there, it will stop. It will say, what are you saying? Rubbish. So, intellect is not there. Intellect is sleeping. Worked so much, no, in the waking. Therefore, it is sleeping. And mind is just like us. Full day it is busy. But night time it is supposed to rest. It will not rest. Why? Because now he sees that, oh, my father intellect is sleeping. All my brother's senses are all sleeping. So what? Now I can do whatever I want to do. And then all the things that you said no, in the waking, mind will bring out all those things. Everything that you suppressed, controlled, everything will come out in dream. Swapne tu buddhi swayam eva. It itself, buddhi here means mana, mind. It itself, jagrat kalina nanavida vasana bhihi vibhati. It alone, it itself shines with what? What are the things that it has? What is it playing with? It is playing with all the vasanas that it has gathered in the waking state. Jagrat kalina, during the waking state, nanavida, various different kinds of vasana bhihi vibhati. Now, this waking state, when it is said, please understand, it can be waking state of today, yesterday, before, last year, last birth, anything. But something that we have not seen in the waking, we can never see in the dream. It is like in the waking you are shooting with the camera. And in the dream, projection is happening. Now remember, everything that you have shot is not projected. But something that is not shot cannot be projected. And because intellect is not there, there is no deciding factor, mind will mix things. Bhel. Full everything it will put. So you will have elephant with wings of a butterfly. Possible. You will have a huge mountain and under that will be car. So car is carrying a huge mountain to some other place. Possible. Anything is possible in dream. But anything means what? Whatever is seen. See, car is seen in the waking. Mountain is seen in the waking. That only can be seen in the dream. You have never seen car on a mountain. Mountain on a car. But separately you have seen. Now it mixes and shows us in the dream. That's what mind does. So, this waking state becomes its special state. Now, this self, kartradibhavam pratipadya rajate, having assumed this doership, that I am this, the self rajate, it shines there. But understand one thing. What? Dhimatra kopadihi ashesha sakshi. But the self actually doesn't get touched by anything. With mind alone as its conditioning, though it is appearing as though it is working, but it is sakshi, it is witness. Na lipyate tat krita karma leshaihi. Lesha, even a bit of its action is not touching the self. Right? Yasmad asangaha. Since the self is that asanga, untouched, tataha eva. Therefore, karma bihi na lipyate kinchid upadhina kritai. Upadhina kritai karma bihi kinchid api na lipyate. By all the actions that the upadhis are performing, not even a wee bit the self is touched. Right? Sarvavyaprati karanam. Instrument for all activities is this subtle body. In the idam lingam atmanah pumsa syat. It is an instrument for the self. And please remember, instrument is different from the person who is using the instrument. Vasyadikamiva takshnah tena eva atma bhavati asangah ayam. This self remains asanga, untouched. Why? Because it is not the instrument that it is using. It is different from the instrument that is being used. Example given is what? Vasyadikamiva, like the chisel, etc. Chisel and hammer, etc. Takshnah, carpenter is using. The instruments that he is using are different from the carpenter who is using them. Similarly, the subtle body, the gross body are the instruments of the self, and therefore they cannot be the self. They cannot be me. This is the point that he is explaining. Now he gives two further explanations saying that how the functions and qualities of the instrument belong to the instrument and not to the self. That's what he has said in verse number 101 and 102, which we have seen, isn't it? Andhatva, mandatva, patutva, dharmaha, these are the qualities. Saugunya, vaigunya, vashadhi, chakshushaha. All these qualities are because of saugunya and vaigunya, fitness and dullness, chakshusha, of the eye. What are the dharmas? Andhatva, blindness, mandatva, dullness, patutva, sharpness. My eyes are dull, my eyes are blind, my eyes are very sharp. Nothing can cross without me seeing it. Okay. All these are the dharmas, the qualities of the eyes. Similarly, badhirya, mukatva, mukhaha, tathaiva shrotradi dharmaha. These are the qualities of the shrotra ear. Badhirya means deafness, can't hear. Mukatva, dumbness, can't speak. Shrotradi dharmaha, these are the conditions of ears, speech, etc. Natu vetuhu atmanaha, and not of the self, who is knower of these instruments and their qualities, their condition. Whether the eyes are functioning correctly or not, the Sakshi knows it. So the Sakshi is different from the eyes that it sees. The qualities belong to the instruments, not to the self. He continues with the explanation of pranas also. Uchvasa, nichvasa, vijrumbhana, kshuta, praspandana, adi utkramanadi kriyaha. These are the different functions of the pranas. What are they? Inhalation, exhalation, yawning, sneezing, secretion, etc. etc. Similarly, there are pranadi karmani vadanti tadnyaha pranasya dharmau ashana pipase. Similarly, there are qualities of pranas. Ashana and pipasa. Ashana means hunger, pipasa means thirst. These are the qualities of the pranas and they don't belong to the self. Right? So far we have seen this much. Now, we are going to see something wonderful. As you can see on the screen, there is a chart which is there. It is a famous BMI chart. I know for some it might be very small. You can double click on the screen so that it will become full screen and then you can see, or best thing is you Google it and you will see the BMI chart. It's not a rare thing. It's a very famous chart that Puja Gurudev had made and it is very popular. And it will be also nice if you can draw the chart yourself for you, personal. Now we have become little more, spoon feeding kind of thing. Gurudev never used to write explanation of the chart. It will only be written as Om, then V, BMI, PFT, OET. No explanation of what is B, what is O, what is P, nothing. But for easy understanding, it is just written there. But you can draw it yourself for your further reference. It's a wonderful chart. We'll be seeing this chart today and we'll try to understand how whatever we have learned so far can be easily communicated through this chart. So this chart is called as BMI chart. This is not that BMI of they generally have that weight and they have that ratio, no? BMI ratio. No, this is different BMI. Actually, when I got one, I remember one form was there, and there we were supposed to write that BMI ratio. I was thinking, how do these people know Gurudev's BMI chart? Because we were first introduced to this chart, and BMI ratio, etc. All these things came much later to us. But now, because all are very conscious about their weight, etc., many of you may know that BMI. It has nothing to do with this BMI. Let us see what is this BMI. So, as you can see on the chart, let us first understand what are all the things. Right on top, you see Om. Om is supreme consciousness, the self, me. That is that Om. Then there is V. V vasanas. Simple concept of vasanas we have seen in the earlier classes, right? For now, keep that. We will expound it a little further. V is vasanas. Now, from these vasanas, 3 arrows you can see down. Can you see that? 3. Comes to BMI. Body, mind and intellect. What are these body, mind, intellect? What is this? These are the instruments that we have, upadhis that we have. Instruments that we have. Equipment. Gurudev, while explaining the chart, he will say that in English there is no plural for the word equipment. But because it will sound very odd for your ears, I am going to use it. And then he will say equipments. He will say, remember, there is no plural, but I am using it. So, instruments or equipment that we have is this BMI, body, mind, intellect. Now, from each one of them, there is further one arrow is there, not cross connection, but from each one of them there is a connection further down. Under B there is P, under M there is F, and under I there is T, isn't it? P, perceiver, F, feeler, T, thinker. We'll understand what this is. Right now, just some of you cannot even see, so I am just showing it so that you can draw. So, BMI, body, mind, intellect, PFT, perceiver, feeler, thinker, and then OET. Under B and P there is O. O is objects. Under M and F there is E, emotions. And under I and T there is one more T, thoughts. Can you see that? What is this? O, objects, E, emotions, T, thoughts. So now we have got full forms of all. There is a self, supreme consciousness right on top. There is vasanas. From vasanas, 3 things have come: body, mind, intellect. From body, perceiver, mind, feeler, intellect, thinker. Further down, objects, emotions, thoughts. Now, you will have this BMI chart also in other languages. I remember when as a child, I used to go and listen to Swami Purushottamanaji explaining in Marathi or Hindi. He will have this entire chart in that language. So, there will be Om will be Om, V will be vasanas, and then Shamadhi, Sharira, Mana, Buddhi. Shamadhi will be there. Sharira, Mana, Buddhi. These are Sanskrit terms, you will understand. There is nothing. Then there is a PFT. So, Drashta, Dra, Bhavuk, Bha, and Vicharak, Vi, Dra Bhavi, Shamadhi, Dra Bhavi, Drashta, the perceiver, Bhavuk, the feeler, Vicharaka, thinker. And then the last line, OET, objects, emotions and thoughts, will be Dr. Dr means Drishya, objects. Bha, again, Bhavana, emotions. And V, again, V, Vichara, thoughts. So very famous chart in different languages also you have, and Pujya Gurudev actually used to take help of this chart that he had made to explain any concept. So any one of you who have listened to Gurudev, you will always see this chart next to him. Actually, it is not that since he started taking discourses, not that from the beginning this chart was there. Actually, Gurudev started in 51, isn't it? 1951, the first yajna that he took in Pune. This chart actually came up, I think, in 1965 or so, when Pujya Gurudev went to the overseas tour. And in one of the universities, when he had to give talk, that is when this chart, I think, he introduced for university students, for youngsters, to explain the entire Vedanta in simple terms, without using the terms Upadhi, Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. Now we are, what to say, we are Dravida Pranayama, it is said. We don't eat like this, we eat like this. First we have understood all the difficult concepts, and now those difficult concepts we are understanding through this chart. Or rather, we are understanding the chart through those concepts now. We are going little like that, but I wanted to introduce this chart to you so that you remember that there is something like this. He also gave freedom to other sannyasins, etc., to use or not to use the chart. It was not compulsory that now because I am using, therefore you also. No, because each person's style is different, the way of explanation is different. So we had many Swamins, etc., Brahmacharyans who used to use this, and there are so many who don't use also. I also sometimes use, I sometimes don't use. In Mumbai, when I used to take Gita sessions, I used to use this chart. But you see, for this what happens is, the explanation of the chart will be important. Otherwise, other people will not understand what are we talking about, right? So this is a beautiful chart. Now let us understand this chart little further. So Om is the self, okay, fine. V is vasanas, okay, we will keep it aside for some time. Now first understand that 3x3 matrix first. BMI, PFT, OET. Let us understand that first. What is this BMI? We said this BMI is instruments that I have. Okay, fine. Instrument that I have. Now come to the last row. OET. What is this OET? Objects, emotions and thoughts. What is this? This is nothing but the world. The entire world is summarized in this OET. There is nothing other than that in the world. You think, what is this? This is a watch, part of the world. Where it comes? It comes in objects. So everything that you see in and around you, objects. Now that is gross. On subtle level, there are things which cannot be called as objects, cannot be objectified. We say, my love for you cannot be objectified. Now where is that love coming? That is coming in emotions. Same as love cannot be objectified, anger also cannot be objectified, isn't it? Though anger creates a lot of objects to break, but anger cannot be objectified. So anger, love, jealousy, humility, positive emotions, negative emotions, okay, but everything comes under emotions. It is my emotional world, mental world. My emotions, mental world. There is also still a world, physical world of objects, mental world of emotions. Now at the same time there is another world, which is the world of my thoughts. See, right now I am speaking, you are all listening to Vedanta. Where are we? We are in this world of thoughts, not emotions right now. If you are watching a movie, etc., maybe you are in the world of emotions. Of course, we are always there in the world of objects. But right now our focus is on what? In this world of thoughts. I am trying to explain a concept. You are trying to understand the concept. You are trying to put that concept in your life and apply and see how is this matching? Where does this fit? Isn't it? So there is this world called world of thoughts. So BMI are the instruments. OET is the world. Now remember, this world of objects, emotions and thoughts is experienced by me through BMI. So through the body, I am experiencing the world of objects. Through the mind, I am experiencing the world of emotions. And through the intellect, I am experiencing the world of thoughts. And therefore, in the same line of body, there is objects. In the same line of mind, there is emotions. In the same line of intellect, there is thoughts. Remember what I said? Through the body, I am experiencing the world of objects. So the one who is experiencing is not the body. Somebody other than the body, using the body, is experiencing the world. Remember that. Now, my experience of the world of OET, does it depend only on OET? Means, what kind of objects am I experiencing? What kind of emotions am I experiencing? What kind of thoughts am I experiencing? What kind of body through which I am experiencing? What kind of mind through which I am experiencing? What kind of intellect through which I am experiencing? All this is based on that vasanas. Therefore, vasanas is creating this entire thing. Means what? Today is Sunday evening. Generally, Sunday evening people spend where? Outside roaming, in the hotels, restaurants. Isn't it? Why? Because their vasanas are like that. So they are experiencing a different world of objects. Whereas you are sitting in front of computer and listening to Vedanta. Different kind of objects, different kind of thoughts, different kind of emotion. Why? Because the we is prompting us to do this, we is prompting them to do that. Swamiji, I am always angry. Your we, your vasanas are prompting those emotions in you. I am a happy-go-lucky person. But Corona, it doesn't matter. To me, nothing matters. Why? That person's vasanas are prompting those kind of emotions. I am a very straightforward thinker, Swami. Once I decide, I decide. I am not like that. Once I decide, that is when I start thinking. And all other kinds of things I think other than the decision that I have taken. All jumbled up. Never on one thing. Okay, your vasanas are prompting those kind of thoughts. Sunday evening, do you want tea? Tea! Coffee. Which kind of objects are you experiencing? Depends on your vasanas. Same way, what kind of body do you have? What kind of mind do you have? What kind of intellect do you have? Everything is based on your vasanas. Now, backed by these vasanas, careful, backed by these vasanas, when I experience the world of objects, emotions and thoughts, through the body, mind, intellect, I become perceiver, feeler, thinker, respectively. I'll repeat. Backed by the vasanas, when I experience the world of objects, emotions and thoughts, through the body, mind and intellect, I become the perceiver, feeler, thinker, respectively. Means what? Through the body, when I am experiencing the objects, of course always backed by vasanas, I become perceiver. Through the mind, when I am experiencing emotions, I become feeler. Through the intellect, when I am experiencing thoughts, I become thinker. Now, so who am I right now? Right now, I am this middle line, PEFT. This is me. Right now, I am perceiver, feeler, thinker. This perceiver, feeler, thinker is what is called as individual, jiva. Now, this individual, using the equipment BMI, experiences the world OET. That is our life story. From birth to death, what are we doing? This is what we are doing. PFT using BMI is experiencing OET. You tell me anything else that we have done so far in our life? Swamiji, you know what? Yesterday I had a very different experience. Okay, what was the experience? Swamiji, have you ever been to this beautiful place called Murudeshwar? There's some place in Karnataka is there. I went there. Such a huge Lord Shiva. Who are you? P, perceiver. What are you doing? O, object you are experiencing. Through what? B, body. No, but it was a very different. Still, that is what we are doing. Sometimes we are just sitting at home and we have a different experience. Still, we are PFT experiencing OET through the BMI. And remember, all this is backed by vasanas. Don't forget that. Everything, all these BMI, PFT, OET is backed by that vasana. Now, what happens in this entire jhamela, in this entire confusion? We forget that we are not the PFT. We are that Om. But Swamiji, it is okay, no? See, let me explain. See, Om cannot experience objects. What is the fun? Om cannot eat pav bhaji. What is the fun? It cannot go in the ocean and just lie down and the water is coming and hitting. Om cannot do that. I can do. Using my body, experiencing the world of objects. I can do. What is the problem? The problem is where? You see, this BMI is continuously changing. Our body is changing or not? Of course it is changing. Though we don't want it to change, still it is changing. We are going towards old age. We are. Slowly one hair, then all hair, everything. Wrinkles. We know the capacity also slowly start to reduce. You have to walk little bit and you say, Appa, can you do something? Can you get that tea for me? In the earlier time, you were not like that. Unnecessarily, you will go 10 times. But now, everything is calculated. See, in the evening, I have to go till temple for walking. So, today, I better take rickshaw. Morning. Young days, you didn't think body is changing. They say, doctors, etc., they say in 7 years, except some cells in the brain, all other cells have changed. So 7 years back, whatever was your body, not a single cell is same in the present body that you have. The body is totally different. It's changing. Mind, we don't even have to talk about it. Mind is continuously changing, isn't it? Once we decide something, next moment we decide something else. Swamiji, I have decided. What? I am going to study this Vivekachoodamani. Really? Oh, very good. Swamiji, suppose I come to Adi Shankar Nilayam, SIF, where you are staying. It is a research institute, isn't it? So can I come there and sit quietly in the illam and then study Vivekachoodamani? Oh yes, of course, please, most welcome. Swamiji, I heard that very close to that place there is this backwater of Alleppey, etc. Gone. Vivekachoodamani gone. Why? Because now you want to go to that backwater and temple and this and that and that and that. Mind. Continuously changing. Our intellect is also changing continuously. Just think for a moment, Beginning of the class, you didn't know what is this BMI, PFT, OET. Now you know. Intellect has changed. Now in the next class, when I will say BMI, PFT, OET, you will immediately understand. Why? Because intellect has changed now. Our ideas changed, our ideologies changed. They change continuously. So body, mind, intellect, all three of them are changing. What about the bottom line, OET? It is also changing. Objects are changing continuously. Emotions, I love that person, Swamiji. I tell you, I have decided I am going to marry. Then after some days, you meet that same person and you say, what happened to your marriage? Marriage? Why marriage? Yeah, last time you met, you said that this boy you like and... Oh, that! Now I am not talking to that person. Emotions change. Sometime I love that person, the next moment I hate that person. I don't want to see his face. Emotions change. Thoughts to change continuously. I think this is the right way. Some days later, it completely becomes a wrong way. You have adopted a new way of thinking. So BMI is changing. OET is changing. Now in these two things that are changing, can this fellow PFT in the center remain same? No. So it also changes. Because of that, what happens? Sorrow. I never expected you will change. Your mistake. You never expected. That is your problem. I was planning to change always. Gurudev used to say, change is the only changeless law in the world. Constant change is the only changeless law in the world, he used to say. Everything changes. Now, in this changing world, we want to get constant happiness. Is it possible? Never possible. Why? BMI is changing, OET is changing. How can PFT get constant happiness? Not possible. So then what we do? Then we go to different objects, different emotions, different thoughts. So what? So that we will get that constant happiness. Do we get? No. Like this, we give up this body, take up another body, we change our mind, we change our intellect. Still, do we get that constant happiness? We keep searching here, there, everywhere. Now that is where the scriptures come and say, oh my dear, you have done lots of things, but do you know what? What you are searching is you. This also we had seen earlier. What you are searching is not in you, it is you. What are you searching? I am searching that peace, constant, permanent, full happiness. It is you. Why? Because you are not the PFT, you are Om. But Veji, now that you said I am Om, why am I not understanding? Technically I understood that I am not PFT, I am Om. But am I experiencing that constant, permanent, full happiness? No. Why? Because there is V in between. Don't forget that. So though I know I am not this, but I am that, but still I am not experiencing it. Why? Because there is an obstacle of V. So what is the solution then? Reduce the V. Quieten BMI. OET, you have no control. You have no control over objects, emotions, thoughts, and that anyways you don't have to worry. Why? Because it is down. You want to go up, isn't it? From PFT you want to go up. So what? Quieten that BMI. Make the body steady, mind steady, intellect focus. Reduce the vasanas and reach that Om. Are you getting it? So this is, what is this? BMI chart. Now everything that we have seen in Vivekachoodamani can be applied to this. See, we saw gross body, isn't it? What is gross body in this BMI chart? Think. It is B. It is B. What is subtle body? Sukshma Sharira. Is it only M? No, M and I. Now remember, subtle body, we have seen so many other factors. Organs of perception, organs of action, pranas, etc. That is to be included. Chart will not say everything, then it will not become chart, then it will become a dictionary. But it tells M and I is what? Subtle body. Now we are going to see causal body, Karana Sharira, which is explained by V. Though in Vivekachoodamani, vasanas, Shankaracharya is included in subtle body, but we have seen the concept why it is so. He is not technically talking about the vasanas that we say in Vedanta. He is using the word vasana, savasanam as a common Sanskrit word. Right? So V indicates that Karana Sharira. So these are the three upadhis, the gross body, the subtle body and the causal body. Now interesting thing that has happened with us is what? Though these are our instruments, forget about causal body because we don't consider it to be instrument anyways. Because it is causal, it creates, that's its job. Now BMI is what is considered as instrument, but sometimes we consider ourselves to be BMI. That is another issue. Though I am PFT, perceiver, not I am PFT, I consider myself to be PFT, jiva, the individual, but the same jiva sometimes considers oneself to be BMI itself. My body, though sometimes I say, sometimes I become the body. And I say, I came and you were not there. I came and you came late. Body I am talking about. I am angry. The mind is angry. But you have taken the modification of the instrument to be your modification. See, when you are going by bike or car, etc., sometimes the air in the tire is not full. So, do you say that my air is not full? My air is full. My air is full only. The air in the tire of my car is not full. How clearly that distinction is there that I am different, car is different. No, this kind of clear distinction is not there between me and my BMI. Actually, there should have been. The problems that come to the body, I should have kept to the body. I should never say that I am not well. I am sick. Why? Because the body is not well, body is sick, let it have. Car also goes for servicing. The body also let it go for servicing. No, but I take it to myself. That is what is the problem with upadhis. Not only are the properties transferred, but there is an identification also. Dharmi adhyasa and dharma adhyasa. In Vedanta they will say. Dharma adhyasa, the properties are transferred to each other. Dharmi, the one who has the properties, that also gets mixed. Not only that the properties of the body are transferred to me, but I consider myself to be the body directly. I consider myself to be the mind. I consider myself to be the intellect. And then at the same time, we use these instruments to experience the world. Interesting. But anyways, what is happening? I am living in this world which is changing. Now, this changing world of OET, which I experience through BMI backed by V vasanas, is what is called as Samsara. So, the PFT is caught up in Samsara. The individual is caught up in Samsara. What is the way? Way is explained. First, you understand this entire concept. Understand that you are not PFT. You are not even BMI. What are you? You are that Om. Okay. That is how this entire BMI chart is to be understood. Okay. So, for another 1 or 2 classes, we will keep this BMI chart on the screen, just for you to understand how it can be applied and how easy it is to understand concepts. Okay. We may not use it always, but just for 1 or 2 more classes we will understand. Now, because it is already there, let us understand this concept of vasana. Vasana, earlier also we have seen two ways of interpreting meaning of the word through the word itself, to the etymology. Vasana comes from root vas. Vas means to stay. That which stays is called as vasana. Means what? The impression. Or you can say that which doesn't go that easily. Habit. Another way you can understand. Now, vasana also can come from another root, which vasa in many Indian languages has got meaning of smell. Suvasa. Isn't it? Smell. Means what? Suppose I keep a flower in my hand, a fragrant flower in my hand. Even if I keep the flower down, the smell doesn't go. The flower is gone, the smell has not gone. So what happens is, when I experience something, the experience is over, the impression has stayed back. That is called as vasana. So every experience creates vasana. Either it will create new vasana, or it will strengthen the old vasana, or it will change the old vasana. Careful. Either it will create a new vasana, strengthen the old vasana, or change the new vasana. Let us understand this further. When, suppose I have never experienced something, never experienced. What is that let us take for example. Somebody comes and tells me that, Vedji, you should try this sushi. Sushi. What is this sushi? Sushi is a type of food. I don't know. I am not expert in that. Somebody has told me, therefore I am giving it as an example. I don't know whether it tastes good or not, whether it is vegetarian, non-vegetarian, that also I don't know. But somebody came and said that you should try this sushi. Now remember, I have never experienced it. So there is no previous vasana for me for that particular object. But somebody says, and then, okay, fine. I am at a place where I can have it. Then somebody brings it. Now what happens? Now I am going to eat. That is going to be an experience. Now experience is over. I ate. There are two possibilities. Either I will like it or I will not like it. Isn't it? Only two possibilities are there. Both these will create impression. Either it will be an impression that it is good. Sushi is good. Or it will be an impression that it is not good. Whatever may be the experience, it will create an impression. Now, based on that impression, next time there will be a desire. Suppose my experience was that it is good, then the desire will be, hey, last time we had that sushi, no, let us have it again. Desire has come. Okay. Suppose the experience that it is not good, then again there are two kinds of desires possible. Maybe in that hotel it was not good. Let me try in some other hotel. Some people are like that. They want to find reasons to eat. Anyway, otherwise there will be another kind of desire. I don't want. So even if everybody else is ordering sushi, I will not order. Why? Because my previous experience was that I didn't like it. Different kind of desire, but the impression will create a desire. Now the moment desire is created, my mind will start working. How can I have it? Or how can I not have it? Based on whatever kind of desire it is. And then I will get into action. So understand, using the BMI chart, V is that vasana. Based on that vasana, there will be desire in the intellect. Desire in the intellect. Based on that desire in the intellect, there will be thoughts in the mind working out how to get it or how not to get it. V, desires in intellect, thoughts in mind, go further, actions on the level of body. Now when I take that action, so suppose let us say I liked it. Just example I am giving, I liked it suppose. Then the desire will be that I want to have it again on the level of intellect. Then mind will start working, how can I have it? In Kerala, in Ernakulam district, here in near, what are the good restaurants? Mind will start thinking, isn't it? Planning. Then the body will get into action. So body will actually go there. Body will go means that I will go with the body and go there and order it and eat it. Now that action will, what it will do? Now it is going to again either create a new vasana or strengthen the old vasana or change the old vasana. I already created a new vasana when I ate it for the first time. I already created a new vasana when I ate it for the first time. Now, first time vasana was that it is good. Now, second time also if I like it, I will say, it is good. Now that it is good is little more stronger. Why? Because two experiences. Once experience, okay, now two experiences. Or I can change also. First time I liked, second time I didn't like. Then what happens? That vasana is weakened. Slowly that vasana can change into saying that I don't like it at all. Many things like that has happened in our life, isn't it? At one point of time we used to love it. Now we can't even look at it, isn't it? How we have changed that vasana through our experience. Okay. So this is what is the cycle. Now carefully if you see, no matter what kind of experience I am having, no matter whether it is a good experience or a bad experience, there is a vasana that is created or strengthened or changed. Isn't it? Whether I liked it or not, vasana is already there, which will create a desire in the intellect, thoughts in the mind and action in the body. Now, why I am saying here desire in the intellect and thoughts in the mind? Generally we said thoughts are in the intellect, isn't it? But we don't have to be very strict about it. Here thoughts means what? The oscillatory thoughts. How I should have it, when I should have it, etc., etc., etc. Desire is little more subtle thought. Therefore, I am saying desire at the level of intellect. And then the thoughts at the level of mind. These are the thoughts of planning. These are not the thoughts. Desire is also a thought only, actually speaking, if you think. Isn't it? That's why kama was said, no. It is also kind of thought. But here to understand that concept, we are saying vasanas, desires, thoughts, actions, vasanas, and then the cycle continues. This cycle actually we had seen earlier, if you remember. We had seen from the standpoint of karma, action, and we had called it as karma bandha, remember? Another karma bandha we have seen, karma then gives rise to karma phala, then karma phala creates sukha dukkha, then to experience sukha dukkha we have to do again karma, then again it creates punya papa karma phala. Isn't it? So there we had seen this, but now we are understanding it through the concept of vasanas. Now what happens? Whatever action I may perform, good action, bad action, good experience, bad experience, it will still create a vasana. Then what will happen? Then the obstacle between me and my true nature is only increasing. What to do now? How can I perform action without creating a vasana? No, Swamiji, but don't do action only. That is not possible. If I stop performing action, there will not be any vasana. But you cannot stop performing action. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jato tishtati akarma krita. Bhagavad Gita will say, not even for a moment anybody can remain without action. Not even for a moment. Swamiji, I am not moving. So I am not doing any action. But your eyes are moving. Okay, I close my eyes. But your lips are moving. I'll close my lips also. But your mind is functioning. You are breathing. Action is going on. Not even for a moment can I remain without action. Even when I say I am doing nothing, I am doing nothing. Don't forget that. It's still an action. You are doing an action of doing nothing. It is still an action. Even sleep is an action because breathing is still going on. So what is happening? I cannot remain without action. Correct. Now, how can I perform action and not create vasanas? Then what will happen? Then my action will not create vasanas. So no further desires, no thoughts. Actions will be there, but there will not be, that circle will be broken. He says, now Vedanta will tell us what? Now to do that, come one step back. On the level of thoughts, first thing you do is reduce the number of thoughts on which you are acting. So then how to do that? Have one thing about which you are thinking and let that thing be something higher. Come one more step before and say desire. What kind of desire am I entertaining? Is it a selfish desire or is it selfless desire? Now, when we will have selfless desire, when we will dedicate our actions to the Lord, Karma Yoga, there will be action but will not create vasanas. I am just explaining, this is not the concept here at all. I am just explaining how BMI chart can be used for every concept. So, Karma Yoga concept, Bhakti Yoga concept, Jnana Yoga concept. So, BMI, on which level you want to work? You want to work on the level of B, on the level of action, then you say you perform action as a dedication to that Om, that Lord. Then what will happen? Action will be there, but no more vasanas. You want to work on the level of mind, say thoughts. What you have to do? First reduce the number of thoughts and channelize those thoughts towards God. Then what will happen? Then the actions will be of that kind which will not create vasanas. And if at all, they will create good vasanas which will destroy the bad vasanas. You work on the level of intellect, on the level of desires in Jnana Yoga, understanding. Hey, listen, it is not right to have so many selfish desires. Just because you want to have sushi doesn't mean you need to find a hotel and go and have sushi. Somebody told you to have sushi, you had it, that's it. Keep it there. No, why you want to change? Now keep it on the level of intellect. So, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, any of these concepts can be explained using this BMI chart. Right? Now also what we are studying, the gross body, the subtle body, the causal body, the identification, everything can be explained in the same way. Okay? So please keep this chart in your mind. Please draw it on your notebook or something so that you keep it in front of you, keep analyzing it, keep understanding it. I am sure it will be of help to all. Okay? Right. I know the topic is of subtle body that is going on, and now we have to enter into the topic of Ahankara. I know, but I thought before going there, let us understand this so that the next verses which will come will be easier to explain through this BMI chart. Right? Chalo, we'll continue in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.